They had the Pontiac garage, and eventually they sold it to Bob Petrusky, and Bob Petrusky wanted it for the Pontiac car, and that went to Manitowoc. So, R&G Dodge, which is originally Langer Brothers, that's over on Jefferson Street, and they had gas pumps. And, well, everybody forgot about the gas pumps, but the city did Jefferson Street. And they got up there and they got within 100 feet and they started ripping the concrete, and they could smell that. They had to call the DNR and they had to do a cleanup on that. But they were all out of business. I don't know how it happened or who paid for it, or thank God they were out of business because it would have cost them a fortune. Lefty Kambalik, 22nd and Jackson, right, according from LaFon's gas station. He was an independent, he was a real nice guy. He also had the paper route with the Herald Times Reporter, and I think it was, back then it was called the Two Rivers Reporter, and he would deliver the papers, and if he had a helper by the name of Yanni Puls. Now, a lot of you may remember who Yanni was, but he was very dedicated because he was on that truck every day, 6-7 days a week. Ed's gas station on 21st in Jackson. That would be kitty corner from Eastside Auto, the old Eastside Auto on Jackson Street. Maybe a lot of people don't know that was a Chevrolet garage, but it wasn't that particular time. He was an independent owner, and he just flew an independent sign.
That was called Gas for Less at Ed's.
Gas for less at Ed's. That's what started the gas wars, right?
Right there.
Okay, LaFon's on 22nd and Jackson. You saw pictures of that. Donnie Rhea, Standard Station, between the Tasty Snack and the A&W, if you know where those two places are. Right now, I don't know exactly what is there, but I did have a guy give me a call. He said he used to work for Donnie Rhea, and he told me a story about his dad, but I'll get into that later. But he was a Standard Oil dealer. He got killed in an automobile accident in the 50s up near Land O'Lakes or Tomahawk or one of those places. Super America. Super America was on 22nd and Forest, kitty corner from the fire station. And they had a show of the state-of-the-art station as far as it would go. But all of a sudden they went out of business. We don't know why. Frenchie's, 2400 block on Forest Avenue. I don't know who owned it before Frenchie. It was Frenchie Lesford. But one of the guys that used to work there was Donnie Belts. And Donnie Belts was an employee there. Eventually he went on to be with the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department, and then he became a detective, and then he retired. But that was originally where that was located. That was located from the cemetery on 147.
And Ray Coden had that for 6 months too in 1965, when, just before they dug up Forest Avenue.
Yeah.
He was in there for 6 months, and then he said, I'm out of here. He said, because people are not coming in.
Sure. Yeah, Ray was a super guy.
That Speedway gas, was that one that was Clark Station at one time?
No, that's a different one.
That's a different one.
The Clark Station is where Evan's department store is.
Warren Kaminsky.
Warren Kaminsky. I tried to get a hold of Warren Kaminsky, but I could not because they said he had a lot of pictures.
I was going to ask, was LaFon's the same as Leon LeClaire's when he had that?
Leon LeClaire.
No.
No, that was across the street.
Okay.
He
He was right on the river on 22nd Street there.
Leon LeClaire was in.
He sold hamburgers for a while.
By Lefty Kambalik, that's what Leon LeClaire.
Oh, that's where you went. Okay, I wasn't familiar with that.
I got a question on the Pontiac garage. Were the pumps where the arcade is now? Or-
Yes.
So there was two. There was one, because like there's a small gas station across the street from it, and then he had pumps at the actual dealership too?
Yeah, on that corner there were 4 gas stations.
Okay.
Let's start with the mobile on the northeast corner. That was run by Eric Carlson. Then going to the south was the Shell station.
Yeah.
And Gary mentioned Lester Keppel, but Lester Keppel went in there and really had a very successful business. Across the street was Speedway. You still, I think they still have the canopy up there yet, don't they? And then across the street to the south, on the southeast corner, was the Pontiac Garage. And they had gas pumps under a roof with a cement column, and that's where they had their gas
And
pumps.
RMGs were right on the sidewalk.
Yes, yes, on Jefferson.
Because the tanks, I own an RMG now.
Oh, okay.
That's my shop. But I bought it from John Moore, and he was telling me that the tanks were actually under the street. Like they were out under the street when they redid the street.
Okay, it's good to have you here because I noticed that you have a lot of big gas oil signs like Shell, and I'll mention that, and a few other ones, but we want to welcome you to the community.
Thank you.
Doug Brody also ran that Shell station.
Yep, Doug
And
Brody.
his younger brother.
Right? And then they put in a car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Zephyr Station on Forest Avenue and Tannery Road, which is now Shoreline Credit Union. So that's where they were located. That was on that B. On 34th and Michigan Road, this was the Schmidt that we were talking, Willie Schmidt. Somehow he disappeared,
Yeah, he did.
and I don't know whatever happened to him. I never heard.
He ran off with the cop.
He ran off with the cops.
Thomas. And him ran. Because I was working on my car. They were working on my car in the gas station, and he was putting brakes and tires on this 53 Chevrolet. And I said, why are you doing all this work? You're only using that car to go get parts. He said, we got a trip planned. And he took off.
Do you know where he went?
No, nobody did. Left the gas station open. And I'm sitting in the gas station the next day working on my car again because the doors were open and nobody was around.
That could be another project. But okay, so that would have been the 34th and Michigan Road, which again was city service, and then they went to Citgo, and then they went to Union 76. Now the Clark Oil Company, that's where Evans Department Stores are. And that was run by Clark Oil. I forget what his first name was, out of Chicago. They had a fleet of gas stations throughout the Midwest, and that name is beginning to come back a little bit as an independent.
Clark only sold behind Tesla Gas.
Clark 100.
Yeah, oh, is that what happened?
Yep, Super 100.
Yeah. Okay, this is a picture of the gas station on 21st in Washington. This was built in 1941, and this picture was taken back in 1958, and this was owned by Eric Carlson at that particular time, and then Bill Peppercorn took it over, and then Armin Wagner took it over. And that's still was standing up until a year ago, but they ripped it down, and I hear there's expansion. What it's going to be, I don't know. Okay, this one here, this used to be a pure oil station. It's 21st in Washington. And I know our Jewel used to work there, Bob Coles used to work there.
Bob Coles, right?
Who?
Bob Coles owned it.
Bob Coles owned
But
it.
Bill worked there.
20th of Washington.
Okay.
Ray Cronin worked there, Ray Cronin worked there for Les Keppel.
Oh, okay, that goes back a few years, okay. But that's where the particular area is, it's Rudy's Lane's parking lot right now. Okay, Gary, here we go. This is a picture of Gary's place, which is Deep Rock, and that was Gary's Automotive. And he went into repair business, and now it's Gulfset Electric. So, this goes back 1964, when we built the new station to replace the one back in 1941. And this was in 1964, and this we had 2 bays. This was with 2 lifts, we just couldn't believe it. And how it happened to go. Here's a picture of my dad, myself. You can tell it's me because they still got a little hair parted in the middle. And Jimmy Crock was also an employee of ours at that particular time. Then we had 50 years in the same old stand. The Herald Times reporter came in and did this particular article, and it explained the different categories up until that particular time. I think it was 1979, and it was a nice article in the paper. I think there's a copy of it over there. Here's another picture of it. This is a different angle of it. Going into the tire business, and 53 years of business, still with Mobile. I'll give you a comment about Mobile. When we were with Mobile, we were the oldest mobile dealer in the state of Wisconsin, and we were third in the nation. So, you know, it's a lot of history on that, and a lot of times with the Depression and all the other things that go with it. And look at mufflers, 1995, $24.95 installed. Buy a muffler today for $24.95.